am talking into my cabinets. That's interesting. All right, well, it's doable. Okay, yeah, I can do that. It's weird, but all right. Okay, so I am about to make creamed chipped beef. This is kind of going on for two reasons. One, by now maybe you've seen the lawnmower video. So the best way that I can always rearrange our budget and reorganize funds every month, yeah, even some for savings, is to reduce the grocery budget. Okay, so right now I am looking for cheap but filling meals, okay? And obviously, I mean, most people have heard of creamed chipped beef before. If you haven't, oh my goodness, it's great. And I will write the recipe down in the description box for you if you'd like to try it yourself. So another reason that I am doing this is because I want to try a new recipe. I looked for a variation. I was looking for a variation to the recipe. There we go. And I couldn't find any. I asked a group of people in a group on Facebook that I am in. I asked them if they know of any variations to this recipe, and pretty much everybody said nope, I just stick to, you know, the normal way to do it. And then somebody did say they add a splash of, I'm going to say it wrong, Worcestershire sauce, but that was the only suggestion that I received. And I was like, I want something a little bit different. Obviously I don't want to make it an expensive meal, but something a little more, you know? So this recipe that I'm going to be making today, I'm winging it, and I'm hoping that it's good. And if it is and we like it, I'm definitely going to, you know, keep it in my binder and, you know, share it with you guys, because if it's cheap and it's good and it's filling, then hey. Oh, one quick thing that I know I'm doing before I haven't even chosen like what I'm gonna put in this thing yet, but what I do know about this is I'm not just going to be using bread. So this is typically something that you just put over toast, right? And so, hold on one second. Yeah, so you're making a sauce with the beef and you put it over toast. So what actually fills you up is the toast, right? It's the bread, because this is not meant to be like the main part of it. It's just an ingredient in the sauce. One of the things that I noticed about all of the recipes that I looked up is they used more than what's in this can. I don't know if that was like mistakes because they think it's more, but this says 2.25 ounces. All the recipes that I saw called for 2.5 ounces and up. One of them even called for 8 ounces. Why? But then it said in that recipe that it served 4. If you had 3 or 4 of these, let me tell you, this recipe would feed people for like a month. That is, to use that many jars of this and to just have it serve 4 people for one meal doesn't make sense to me. So I will say that being that the meat, the protein part of this, is the treat in it, right? It's a sauce. It's like a buttery kind of savory sauce that you have, and you know, having that in the bite on the toast is like I keep saying it's a treat. It is more like a treat, because you're like, ooh, a piece of meat, you know, like it's not meant to have meat in every single bite. It's not meant to be like a main protein in a meal. That's not how this is supposed to be. You have to remember, this was, I mean, granted it was a lot cheaper back then, but this meal was from the Depression era. Okay, this was not like prime rib and then you have some potatoes. No, you had more potatoes and then you had a little bit of meat, right? That's how you're supposed to use this. So what I'm actually planning on doing, so Sorry, my oven just decided it was gonna make some noise. What I'm actually going to be doing is I'm going to be making a lot of this, okay? A lot. And I am going to be making freezer meals with it. Again, I have no idea what I'm putting in this recipe yet. But I've decided I'm going to make casseroles. Yeah. Now, I am all about eating healthy. I am trying to lose weight right now. I am treating myself better. I am working out every day. I have been working out in the yard and sweating away fat. I'm telling you, it's been just cool. And that's all wonderful, and I want to eat well and everything like that. But at the same time, when money gets tight, or when you blow up your lawnmower, you might have to make some meals that aren't the healthiest, but that are going to fill you up and keep your family's bellies full, okay? That is my goal, all right? It's just like, I hate hot dogs. My kids love hot dogs. I wish hot dogs didn't exist, but I will give my kids a hot dog every single day if they want that, because they're being fed. And that's not an argument or a debate that I am willing to have with anybody, so don't waste your time. Anyway, we're going to make this. Look, it looks like I'm holding a flashlight to my face. It's a metal lid. That's funny. Okay, we're going to start this. You make a roux, butter, flour, milk. Don't add any salt to any recipe. I actually saw a recipe that added salt. These things are so salty. On the container, it says, when used in recipes, rinse in warm water and drain. That's how salty these already are. The company literally tells you rinse off the salt, okay? I'm not going to rinse off the salt, but I just want to say there is no reason to add salt to this. That's just too much. I'm really hoping that I can make something extremely tasty with this. I've never like strayed from the recipe, and it's always been very good. I mean, I like it, my husband likes it, a couple of the kids like it, but it's not a favorite. I'm just hoping I can make it a little bit tastier and make it last longer. I am hoping I can make 4 meals with this. And I'm gonna use tater tots. That's what I was getting to earlier when I was talking about the healthy stuff. It's gonna be tater tot casserole. But like, I just don't know how I'm going to season it yet, but I have a couple ideas. So we'll see, but I gotta get the roux going first, so that's what I'm going to do right now. I forgot real quick, as I was just, because my oven was making the noise, right? Because it finished preheating. I just took this out of the freezer from the garage. I have recently posted my June randoms video. As I said, I was recording every day and I just didn't have the ability to get anything uploaded. So I'm kind of like throwing clips together. And I know when approximately they were recorded. So it's part of my June randoms video where I had a bunch of frozen vegetables and the chicken and the cream of whatever soups and that kind of deal. So I just pulled one of those out of the freezer and I am going to cook that for dinner tonight. These casseroles that I'm making, the chipped beef, that's not for dinner tonight. Those are legitimately just for freezer meals. Okay, so I'm gonna get this in the oven and then I will start cooking on this new recipe that I have yet to make up. Okay, so we are about to start this roux and get this thing going. Now, I'm not the best with measuring, so I'm gonna take a lot of butter, all right? Big spoonful. I think I'm gonna do 2 of those. Okay, so got the butter. That's gonna start melting. All right, that'll get going. I am going to say that today I am using almond milk instead of regular milk. there's not gonna be, it's not flavored or anything. There's not gonna be any difference. This is going to overpower it that so much. You're not even gonna, nobody's gonna notice, really. So I decided, and I'm going to do this very lightly at first, but I did decide I'm going to go with some Dijon mustard. I don't know if you can see that. That does not want to focus at all. Hold on. There we go. Some Dijon. Why is that? That's so weird. Okay, so some Dijon mustard, and then I do have some garlic that I pulled out of the fridge, but I don't know if I'm gonna put that in there. But it's minced garlic. I might add it. We'll see. I'm not sure yet. Let me get a spoon for this. That is really loud. Wow. Okay. Probably should turn it up off of low. That's just gonna take forever. Okay, so I've got the flour here. Just gonna do kind of sprinklings. Again, I don't measure, so I'm just gonna throw it in there and, you know, get that to thicken up a little bit. But yeah, I kind of, when I'm cooking, it's something that I will typically do. That's a weird angle, isn't it? Something that I will typically do is kind of go by smell, right? I'll smell something and then I'll smell an ingredient and see if it kind of goes well together, which is what I'm planning on doing with the garlic for sure, because I don't know if I want to put that in there. But I think, I don't know, I just have a feeling that this Dijon mustard is going to like go with it really, really well. But we'll see, we'll see. You've done that before, dear, and you're very shaky.
Every time I recorded, I was riding a skateboard.
Yeah. You've done it for me. Spoonful was a lot bigger. Okay, I'm not used to using that burner. That's kind of difficult. All right, flour. Right, here we go. Getting a different spoon. Shake that in there and have it all fall in. That would not be cool. So you want kind of equal parts. So just 2 big spoonfuls. We'll see how that does. This is really odd, like cooking it back here. I don't like that. I just don't. Wow. Don't like it. But the problem with cooking on the problem with cooking on this burner is that this burner is like, it gets extremely hot for some reason. Like you can have it on low and you will burn bacon. It's ridiculous. So I have to really, really watch it on this one, but that's okay. So, I will typically start to add milk when it's like this, okay? I just want to make sure I can scrape most of that off the bottom before I add the milk. Which seems like I can. Everything seems good. Kind of looks like an oily dough kind of a thing. Alright. I'll typically wait for like a couple of bubbles. And I think we just got like 2, 3. Alright, cool beans. So,
You need help?
no. Now I just add a splash of milk in at a time. because obviously the milk cools it down and then you have to bring it back up to heat. So every time you add a little bit, you're waiting for it to heat back up, to thicken back up. So just in case you've never done this before, I will show you. This is what it looks like now that I've added the milk to it. Okay, and so what you do is you just wait for this to start bubbling and it'll start to thicken up, just kind of like how it looked before. And basically you just kind of go back and forth with it looking that way. You add milk, you what is that called? It's not liquefying. You thin it out. There we go. You thin it out with the liquid until it, and then it'll get hot again and bubble and thicken up and clump, and then you put milk in it again to thin it out, and you're just basically building your base. Now, you know what I think? I think that the reason that I'm so drawn to this Dijon mustard is I think somebody somewhere along the way might have told me to put dried mustard in this recipe. But I don't even know. I honestly don't remember. I just have this, like, I don't know, this feeling that I'm supposed to put mustard in this. All right, so here I'm gonna show you. Now, this is something that, yes, you should be stirring or whisking pretty much the entire time. You can see that it's starting to clump back up, and that's totally normal. That's what it's supposed to do, okay? And now we have to add, I'm gonna let it get a little bit clumpier, and then we're going to add milk again, okay? So basically, a roux is just butter, flour, and milk, and it is the base of so many things. Like if you have a good like cream of potato soup that you make, the base is typically this. Anything that I know that is a cream of anything kind of soup, the base is typically this. Ham chowder that I do. I don't know. I don't know if it's like everybody does it this way, but I think it's such an amazing like consistency. And my goodness, baby girl, she's just talking away. She's actually tired. That's her tired noise. Woo. All right, so I did not add a lot of milk this time, so this actually didn't thin it out totally, where it's already clumping up again here. So I am making macaroni? No, I'm not making macaroni. Good guess though.
Yes, macaroni, butter, milk.
Whoop, excuse me. I am making something called creamed chipped beef. Oh, this is so much better with, I got my whisk. I didn't want to melt my spoon since you're supposed to stir it so frequently. Whew, goodness. But I am getting hot, so we have to turn up the fan. I am probably going to stop narrating this right now. Maybe I'll do a voiceover or something, because this fan is about to get extremely loud. It's like an industrial fan for this stove. So here we go. It's melted. Yeah. And Boyd, I have taken a fork and a knife, a metal one, out of the garbage today. You guys are in the habit of throwing away your plates and you're throwing away my silverware.
That's a nice. Yes, I want to go. Hello.
Okay, so this is what I was talking about. This is on low and it's boiling. Yeah, like it's on low completely. And this thing gets so hot, it's ridiculous. Okay. I think your sister put sprinkles in it.
Yes, she did.
So that's probably what was in your tea. So go over there, crazy person.
She's screaming.
I know. I know it.
Sometimes you like
ridiculous. Yeah, that's ridiculous. Nobody else can get you.
And then we just put that little. Can I do what? Yeah, you have a lot. I have a little. Okay. Yeah. Okay, get my little one. How did this? I'm just pushing it off family.
Little Miss Lady needed to be held again.
This is wonderful. I love her face. Me too.
Hello again. All right, so I have the creamed chipped beef finished. I did end up using the entire half gallon, right? Yeah, half gallon of almond milk. What I did with the mustard was I ended up doing 4 very large, like squeeze the whole bottle really hard, 4 large squirts of that. The entire container of the chipped beef, and it ended up being 4 of those heaping tablespoons of butter and 4 of the heaping tablespoons of flour, okay? And I mean, right now it's thickened up a little bit. It could thicken up a little bit more, but I'm okay with that consistency there. So as I was saying, I wanted to do this as a, oh right, so I did not rinse the beef, right, like how the can had said, the jar had said, and I didn't put anything else in it. Those are the ingredients: butter, flour, almond milk, Dijon mustard, and the chipped beef, the dried beef. So I mean, that's pretty cheap, pretty fast, and there's a lot. So again, I used a half gallon, right? So that's gonna feed a lot more than 4 people. But instead I wanted to make this into a casserole, right? I'm gonna try this cabinet thing again. There we go. I wanted to make this into a casserole, and so I got my tater tots here. Now I actually only had half a bag. We buy the large family size bag, and I didn't realize I had already used some of it. I thought this was going to make 4 meals. I've got enough of that sauce to do that, but we only have 2 trays of the tater tots. So right now I'm about to just spoon some of this in there, see, you know, kind of play around with it since I don't have other trays to fill. And then I might just bake a loaf of bread. I did take one out, so I took one out of the freezer. So we might actually have a little bit of this for dinner tonight. Okay, ladle. Ladle. Woohoo. Woohoo. What are you doing, Savannah? Oh, the noodly cadoodle.
It's actually canoodle.
Canoodle. Sure. Yeah. All right.
We need to make some garlic bread.
I was actually going to just make regular bread and put it with this.
Ew.
I know you don't like it. Don't feel like playing with him? Is that the deal?
And I also just want to play the canoodle.
Hey Savannah, when you're done with that, can you go hang out with Gooby?
Sarah doesn't like any time I hang out with him because he complains that I'm boring, don't know how to play, and then he just starts playing.
Alright, so try to do more of what he likes. See? I don't even know how many spoonfuls I did in each of these. Just trying to cover them. Oh, and we have already taste tested, and this tastes amazing. It's not a favorite of the little ones, but That's okay. Again, they've got their hot dogs, and I'm okay with that.
Dog bread. What you do with that candy for magic?
Savannah, will you play magic with him?
They really don't say magic. When you say that, they don't say something else or anything other than that.
She said she'll play Legos.
I like magic more.
Mm.
And I can't.
Is Orion still sleeping?
No. I changed the Lego scene to magic.
All right, so here we are. We've got our creamed chip beef on top of our tater tots, and that will be yummy and filling. Yay! So,
And we got
2 dinners put away, and look at this. There's still a lot. I don't want to like completely like douse these. I mean, I guess I could add more to these.
so that way it's extra filling.